Fixwires, the RF and Microwave Update series. I'm Pat Hendo and I'm solo today for the first time. So we are looking for a new technical editor, so if anyone's interested, please contact me. Our sponsor today is Analog Devices. In this episode, we're going to continue our coverage of the February satellite and radio communications themed issue. And as a reminder, the cover story is written by ETL Systems about Q and V-band frequency converters for next generation SATCOM systems. And they state that this approach could double the total satellite bandwidth available today. And they show how this can be done by using the feeder links, and user links would remain as Ka-band. And we covered the technical features in our last episode, so I'm going to take a look at the products. And for product features, we had a 10 megahertz oven-controlled crystal oscillator from Wenzel Associates that will serve as a critical frequency reference for NASA's Venus Synthetic Aperture Radar. And we also had MM-Tron's high linearity, power, and low noise amplifiers for the V-band satellite downlinks covering 37 to 44 gigahertz. And for tech briefs, we had Mecca Electronics, new broadband power divider, and that operates from 2 to 8 gigahertz, spanning the needs for S and C bands and Wi-Fi 6E through Wi-Fi 8. And then we also had OSO Semiconductor's ultra-low power, high-performance beamformer ICs. So we had a special guest join me today, Jokan Yalowitz, Product Line Manager from RF and Microwave for Communications at Analog Devices, joined me to discuss 5G millimeter wave applications, including fixed wireless access and private networks. Let's take a look at a clip from that now. And so what are some of the other application areas for 5G millimeter wave spectrum?
Right. Outside of fixed wireless access, we are seeing momentum in specific private networks where millimeter wave can actually make a meaningful difference. And these are things like industrial facilities or large enterprise campuses. And of course, combination of ultra low latency and extremely high throughput can be truly transformative. And these are the deployments where millimeter wave strengths really shine, as you can imagine. And I'll also highlight another area that's getting a lot of attention globally, that's integrated sensing and communications. As you can imagine, ASIC and operators, vendors, and research institutions have been demonstrating the capability of ASIC over the last few years. And now it's adding an entirely new layer of opportunity, entirely new layer of value, added value for the traditional wireless networks. And of course, this idea behind ASIC is very simple, but very powerful, and using the existing communication wireless infrastructure, not just for communication, but also for sensing the environment. I think that means you can now detect objects like vehicles and drones and even smaller items. And of course, as you move in the frequency in the millimeter wave, and the ability to sense smaller objects becomes much more feasible. And ASIC opens the door to some fascinating new use cases, and we are working with our partners and customers to explore and enable these capabilities.
You can watch the full interview on our video channels. Turning to the news, there were a few market reports that I saw. According to a recently published report from Del Oro Group, preliminary findings reveal that the radio access network market ended the year on a stable note with stronger than typical 3Q and 4Q seasonality. In 2025, Huawei and Nokia gained ground, Ericsson and Samsung were stable, and ZTE's RAN market revenue fell. The short-term outlook is mostly unchanged, with the total RAN expected to remain stable in 2026, which is really good to hear. According to another Del Oro report, Open RAN has come a long way since the Open RAN Alliance was formed back in 2018, but the results have been mixed, and the vision and expectations have definitely evolved over time. Openness, intelligence, automation, and virtualization remain key pillars of the next generation RAN platforms, but the adoption curves vary. The likelihood of Open RAN, Cloud RAN, and multi-vendor RAN will play a major role in the second half of 5G and from the start of 6G, and is likely for Open RAN, less likely for Cloud RAN, and unlikely for multi-vendor RAN, according to the analysts. According to Yole Group's latest report on RF GaN market, GaN devices play a critical role in high-power RF signal generation and amplification, with growing adoption across telecom infrastructure, defense, and satellite communications. The market is expected to reach $2.4 billion by 2031, growing at 11% CAGR between 2025 and 2031, up to about 1.3 billion in 2025. After a downturn starting in 2023 due to weaker demand in the telecom infrastructure, the market has been rebounding and is driven by rising defense spending supported by renewed momentum in the SATCOM applications. Turning to events, after attending DesignCon next week, I have a one-day turnaround and I'll be heading out to Mobile World Congress Barcelona. I did see some pre-show news. I saw that Insilica will showcase a complete KU and Ka-band chipset for a highly integrated, cost-optimized satellite broadband user terminals, and that was developed using a resilient, predominantly European supply chain. The chipset combines RF, beamforming, and digital processing capabilities to reduce power consumption, component count, and overall system cost, enabling compact flat panel antenna terminals across multiple satellite constellations and frequency bands. And I also saw Rohde & Schwartz will cover many topics like the path from 5G to 6G, and they'll be showing some demos with their one-box signal tester, and I'll be highlighting many of the test scenarios from SDR validation to multi-carrier aggregation to AI enhancements and integrated sensing and communications. And as NTN technology matures alongside of 5G and towards 6G, they'll be overcoming significant technical hurdles, and that's a key to realizing the NTN's potential. So they'll have some demos addressing that. And they also have some industry collaborations to accelerate AI RAN with Nokia Bell Labs and NVIDIA. And there'll also be demos on Wi-Fi 8, automotive connectivity testing, and solutions for mission-critical communications and spectrum monitoring. So lots of demos happening there. I'll be doing a show wrap-up and videos when I return and catch up with everything. So that wraps up this episode. Our sponsor is Analog Devices. Analog Devices empowers intelligent edge with the most innovative analog, digital, and software solutions, accelerating breakthroughs that benefit society and the planet. And remember, as a member of the industry, a subscription to Microwave Journal is free, so visit our website and subscribe today if you're not already a reader. Please give us a like, and thanks for watching, and join us next time for Frequency Matters.